फ्रेंड्स, आज हम सीखने जा रहे हैं एंटोनिम्स मतलब विपरीतार्थक शब्द. Antonyms are an important part of vocabulary and are commonly used in language to express differences and provide a variety. Here is a breakdown of the different types of antonyms. Antonyms कई टाइप्स के होते हैं और इनको बनाने का तरीका भी अलग अलग होता है. तो देखते हैं कितने तरह के एंटोनिम्स होते हैं. First is gradable antonyms. They indicate degree or level of a quality. For example, hot, its antonym is cold. Tall, short, fast, slow. ये आपको डिग्री या लेवल बता रहा है किसी चीज़ का. जैसे हॉट गरम, कोई चीज़ कितनी गरम है, या ठंडी कितनी ठंडी. टॉल लंबा, कितना लंबा. तो यहाँ पर हम डिग्री और लेवल्स को जानने के लिए जिन वर्ड्स का यूज़ करते हैं वो आते हैं ग्रेडेबल एंटोनिम्स के अंदर. नेक्स्ट इज कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री एंटोनिम्स. कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री एंटोनिम्स आर पेयर्स ऑफ वर्ड्स दैट एक्सप्रेस एन आइदर और रिलेशनशिप वेयर द प्रेजेंस ऑफ वन इम्प्लाइज द एब्सेंस ऑफ द अदर. मतलब अगर एक वर्ड प्रेजेंट है तो उसका मतलब दूसरा ऑटोमेटिकली एब्सेंट होगा. जैसे कोई चीज़ ऑन है तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो क्या है, ऑफ नहीं है. कोई चीज़ ट्रू है तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि वो फॉल्स नहीं है. नेक्स्ट इज रिलेशनल एंटोनिम्स. रिलेशनल एंटोनिम्स establish an opposite relationship between two words, indicating a contrast in the relationship between two objects or concepts. For example, parent, child, teacher, student, employer, employee. तो यहाँ पर हम देख रहे हैं एक रिलेशन है, एक रिलेशन एस्टेब्लिश हुआ है. हालांकि अपोजिट नहीं है एक दूसरे के, लेकिन अगर कोई पेरेंट है तो वो पेरेंट कब है, जब उसका चाइल्ड है. कोई टीचर है तो वो टीचर कब कहलाएगा, जब उसका कोई स्टूडेंट है. तो ये कहलाएंगे रिलेशनल एंटोनिम्स. नेक्स्ट इज कन्वर्स एंटोनिम्स. कन्वर्स एंटोनिम्स आर पेयर्स ऑफ वर्ड्स दैट इंडिकेट अ रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन टू एंटिटीज और एक्शंस where one is the reverse or opposite of the other. For example, lend, borrow. So here we see two opposite actions. Obviously, if someone is lending the money, another one is borrowing it from you. The same way, if someone is buying something, another one is selling it. So these are converse antonyms where one action represents the another one. Next is auto antonyms. Auto antonyms are words that have opposite meanings depending on the context. The same word can have contradictory definitions. For example, sanction can mean to approve और टू इम्पोज अ पेनल्टी. यानी यहाँ एक ही शब्द के दो अलग अलग मीनिंग हैं जो कि अपोजिट लग रहे हैं. वैसे ही एक वर्ड है डस्ट. जब धूल जम जाती है किसी चीज़ के ऊपर तो भी हम कहते हैं कि इस पर बहुत डस्ट हो गई है, और धूल झाड़ देने को भी हम कहते हैं डस्टिंग. तो यहाँ पर एक ही शब्द दो अलग अलग मीनिंग को दिखा रहा है जो कि एक दूसरे के अपोजिट हैं. इन्हें कहते हैं ऑटो एंटोनिम्स. Next is near antonyms. Near antonyms are words that are not direct opposites but still have some degree of contrast. They represent concepts that are similar but not completely opposite. For example, skinny, plump, brave, coward, begin, and. So ये ऐसे एंटोनिम्स हैं जो मिलते जुलते हैं, जरूरी नहीं है कि बिल्कुल अपोजिट हो. जैसे ब्रेव है, अगर कोई बहादुर है तो ऐसा नहीं कि जो बहादुर नहीं है वो कायर है. इसी तरह कोई स्किनी है यानी पतला दुबला, तो जरूरी नहीं है कि अगर कोई स्किनी नहीं है तो वो मोटा ही हो. Although the creation of antonyms is very confusing and there is no such specific rule related to that, but I have tried to help you understand the use of different prefixes depending on the words and situations. So let's have a look on it. Now we will learn how to create the opposite of any word using the prefixes. Prefixes are commonly used to form antonyms by adding them to existing words. Here are some guidelines for when to use prefixes to form antonyms. अब हम सीखेंगे कि कैसे प्रीफिक्स को जोड़कर किसी शब्द में हम एक नया शब्द बनाएंगे जो कि उसका उल्टा दिखाता है। प्रीफिक्स का मतलब है कुछ ऐसे लेटर्स जो हम वर्ड से पहले जोड़ते हैं। तो पहला प्रीफिक्स हम देखेंगे अन। द प्रीफिक्स अन इज कॉमनली यूज्ड टू फॉर्म द अपोजिट ऑफ एडजेक्टिव्स, वर्ब्स एंड नाउन्स। हियर आर सम एग्जांपल्स। हमने देखा कि हम यहाँ पर एडजेक्टिव, वर्ब्स या नाउन्स के अगर अपोजिट बनाना चाहते हैं तो हम अन यूज़ करके एंटोनिम्स बनाएंगे। लेट्स सी द एग्जांपल्स। हैप्पी इज एन एडजेक्टिव, इट्स अपोजिट इज अनहैप्पी। Healthy, unhealthy. Certain, uncertain. Same way, do is a verb and its opposite is undo. Lock, unlock. Tie, untie. Nouns. Let's see the nouns now. Known, unknown. Believer, unbeliever. Finished, unfinished. Next is the prefix im. I am im. Used before words starting with P, B or M to indicate the opposite or absence of something. For example, possible. So the word starts with P. So when we make its opposite or antonym, we will use I am before this. So it becomes impossible. Perfect, imperfect. Moral, immoral. Patient, impatient. Balanced, imbalanced. If the word starts with a vowel, the prefix in is used instead. For example, accurate, inaccurate, adequate, inadequate, active, inactive. In prefix is also used before words starting with most other consonants to indicate negation, lack or absence. For example, visible, invisible, direct, indirect, complete, incomplete, sensitive, insensitive, capable, incapable. Let's see the example of prefix il. It is used before words starting with the letter L. For example, legal, illegal, logical, illogical. Now we will learn the use of prefix dis. This is used to indicate negation, reversal or the opposite of an action. When the word has a positive or neutral meaning and you want to create a negative meaning, for example, connect. Now you want to make a negative meaning of this. So you will use dis, disconnect. Agree is a positive word, disagree is a negative word. Appear, disappear. So this was the one use of the prefix dis. Let's see another use. When the word describes an action or a state and you want to indicate the removal or absence of that action or state, for example, arm, disarm means when you have removed the arm from someone's body. So this is disarm. Engage, its opposite is disengage. Organize, disorganize. Another use is when the word indicates the reversing or undoing of an action. For example, arrange, disarrange, engage, disengage, integrate, disintegrate. So it is almost similar to the point B. Now let's the very common prefix miss. This is used to indicate wrong, incorrect or mistaken actions. If we take the example of any adjective, so miss can be added to adjectives to express the opposite meaning. For example, understandable. And when it is not understandable, so you can say it misunderstandable. Next is the example of some verbs. Miss can be added to verbs to indicate a negative or incorrect action. For example, behave. And when you don't behave properly, then we say misbehave. Interpret. When you do mistakes in interpreting something, so you can say misinterpret. Calculate. And when you do some mistakes in calculating, you can use the word miscalculate, understand, misunderstand, pronounce, mispronounce, judge, misjudge. Let's take some examples of noun also. Though less common, miss can also be added to certain nouns to indicate a negative or incorrect state. For example, fortune, misfortune, trust, mistrust, print, misprint. Now let's see the example of prefix D. It is used to indicate the reversal, removal or reduction of something. For example, activate, deactivate. So what we are doing here, we are reducing the effect of something. Value, devalue. Centralize, decentralize. So here we are reducing the value of something or the intensity of something. Next is anti. This prefix is used to indicate a position or being against something. For example, clockwise, you can say counterclockwise or anti-clockwise. The same way, social, its opposite will be anti-social. Biotic, antibiotic. Prefix we are going to learn is over. It is used to indicate excess or too much of something. For example, weight, overweight, work, overwork, confident, overconfident. So it is showing the excess of something. Next prefix is under. It is just the opposite of over. It is used to indicate insufficiency, not enough of something. So the examples are estimate, underestimate, developed, underdeveloped, qualified, underqualified. So it is just the opposite of over. Now let's see the use of prefix ir. It is used to indicate the opposite or negation of something and it goes before the letter R. For example, responsible, irresponsible, rational, irrational, regular, irregular. So you noticed that the word starts with R here. Okay, so whenever any word starts with R, its opposite will be made by using the prefix ir. Next is the prefix non, used to indicate the absence or lack of something. For example, sense, nonsense. So the one who is lacking the sense is nonsense. Fiction, non-fiction. Verbal, non-verbal. Now next is the use of a to create the antonyms. Let's see the examples. Moral, amoral, sexual, asexual, symmetrical, asymmetrical, pathetic, apathetic, social, asocial, theist, atheist. Here, asocial typically describes a lack of interest or preference for social interactions, while unsocial describes behaviors that are contrary to social norms or expectations. The choice between the two depends on the specific context and the intended meaning. Now, there is also a prefix which is very rarely used to create the antonyms, that is A, B, ab. For example, normal, abnormal. I hope the video was useful for you. So be in touch for more such informative content. Thank you.